It's on. Friday Football Fever. Brought to you by Arizona Health Exercise Equipment.
How's your energy, Southern Arizona? It is now time for the highly acclaimed and much anticipated Friday Football Fever. Good evening to you. I'm Paul Cicala.
And I'm Ari Alexander. Paul, first week of September, yet after tonight, for some teams, 40% of their high school football season is already over. Look at that.
Crazy.
But last week was incredible. It's going to be hard to top some of those standout plays and players, but I think we may have done it this week.
I think we have. It is literally game 4 of the 10-game regular season for a number of Tucson area high schools, including 2 from the oldest rivalry, one of the oldest rivalries at least, in Southern Arizona. We're talking Pueblo on the south side, skipping west over the Santa Cruz River, all the way to Choya.
Stop doing it the cardinal directions. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it's across the river. Let's head out to Choya with the fight for the river rights. And this rivalry saw a whole bunch of defense tonight. Early on, Choya's quarterback Carlos Marquez would roll right into a Pueblo onslaught. Frank Stephanie and Kevin Lopez Barriete, they were in on it. He goes down, but the Chargers would D it up as well. Pueblo's Ricardo Medina has no time before Daniel Robledo is on him like white rice. Let's fast forward to the fourth quarter, 0-0. Troy goes for it, but Carlos Marquez going nowhere. And 3 plays later, the Warriors' Frank Stephanie will plow it in from a yard out. That is the only score of the night. Troy has ended up playing its rival very, very tough in a defensive struggle. Pueblo survives. Here's the final score, 7-0. And against Phoenix North High School, Tucson High players were on the sidelines watching some TV.
Gee, Paul, were they watching the Friday Football Fever?
No, Ari, that's them actually studying some game film. Who knows what they're
like
doing? It seemed to work because the Badgers had their opponent's number, and so did Andres Delgado, knocking the ball away there. And from defense to offense, with Tucson High's Jesus Montaño hitting Angel Encias, who will be spinning and grinning after the first down. And gotta love the special teams. Off of the Mark Vargas punt, there'll be some great coverage by Gary Love, not showing the defender any love. Tucson High was on a roll and wins big at home, staying undefeated. Final score, 50-0. And moving on from central Tucson, adjacent to the campus of the U of A, to the extreme north, in Oro Valley. Let's send things over to Ari Alexander.
All right, just for that, I'm going to be talking like this for the rest of the night. It would be a battle for Oro Valley bragging rights. I don't think I can keep that up. Canyon Del Oro and Push Ridge, between campuses separated by 7/10 of a mile. These two high schools along North Oracle Road have seen a fair amount of players from both sides who grew up together. Push Ridge led this one early 7-0 against their rivals, but CDO would crank up their defense. Dominic Rodriguez, the sack, ball comes loose, and Nick Collins, number 13, recovers it for the Dorados. Then CDO hands it off to Stevie Rocker. Look at this, stiff arm, get out of my way, just beasting through tackles. 68 yards later, no one can get this kid down. Just a sophomore, touchdown CDO, game tied at 7. The Dorados again get the defensive stop. Nick Collins right away just before half. 2 minutes left, and Push Ridge's coach yells, "Watch 22 out of the backfield." Well, guess what? They run a screen to 22 out of the backfield. Stevie Rocker, they knew it was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. Rocker in the end zone from 20 yards out, 13-7 at half. CDO would extend the lead from there, 33-7, the final. This is mild-mannered Jorge Mendeville on the sideline for Amphi, down 21-6, and they're having trouble stopping Flowing Wells. Running back Rashad Henderson breaks a 30-yard run into Amphi territory. Then the Caballeros get it in the end zone from Henderson. It's 27-6 after a block kick. Then Caballero defense standing strong, swarming the ball carrier. That was on 3rd down, but then 4th down would get amazing. We've got a flag for Coach Mendeville stepping over a line. And then the line judge here decides to throw a second flag for unsportsmanlike conduct for not being behind that line. More arguing ensues, and a 3rd flag. All because we paid to see the ref tonight. So finally he picks up the flag. We think it's over. No, there's more arguing. On another flag. 4 flags for unsportsmanlike conduct about an arbitrary line. The Caballeros win 40-12. I left this game before it was over because I did not want to get a flag thrown at me.
That's kind of funny stuff. All right, don't look now, but Coach Mark Brunican and the Caballeros are 3-1 this young season. Moving on, South Point is known to schedule games with teams from out of state, so it's no surprise they take on a squad from Texas tonight. Del Valle High School from El Paso's Lower Valley took the 4-hour drive from Chuco Town to the Old Pueblo to smack helmets with South Point. And on a personal note, I worked in the El Paso area for almost 5 years and saw Del Valle on a regular basis winning lots of league titles. So covered this program firsthand. Good for South Point to go up against a tough team. And at quarterback for Del Valle High School is the younger brother of a football nemesis for the U of A, Steven Montes. He's the starting quarterback at Colorado, while his younger brother, Raymond Montes, heads up Del Valle. He'd be on the sidelines at first as South Point put together a drive, and right off the bat, Bijan Robinson was picking up some yardage for the Lancers. That's a first down. South Point started off very strong. Then Devin Green is about to get the ball to Mario Padilla. And look at this move. Yes, they call him El Jukebox because he jukes so many players. And after marching down the field, Bijan Robinson is about to take it in. South Point's up 7-0, but back comes Del Valle. Quarterback Raymond Montes will roll out and find his man, Danny Cortez. Making it happen, Captain. Check out the extra yardage in front of the Texas team's bench. And after that, how about a short pass from the Division I prospect? And check out the stiff arm by Del Valle's Karch Gardner. Get out of here. Del Valle took more than 8 minutes to drive downfield, and it all ends here with Raymond Montes chucking his way into the end zone. He is a D1 prospect. Just like that, it is all tied up 7-7, and in the end, South Point goes off. The Lancers win big, 42-27. Certainly was a showdown of two of some of the best teams in the border Southwest. Got to hand it to South Point. Always going above and beyond to schedule those tough competitions and tough teams from out of this area. The Lancers will travel to El Paso to take on Del Valle next season. All right, we're far from over with. After the break, more games. It was a big homecoming for Coach Jeff Skern as he was honored at his old school, Sabino. Could his current team, Catalina Foothills, come away with a win? Plus, could Desert View contain Trenton Bourget and Marana? The Friday Football Fever continues.
Brought to you by Arizona Health Exercise Equipment.
Hey, welcome back to the Friday Football Fever. How's your energy, my high school football fans? I'm Paul Cicala. Ari Alexander is standing by. But first, quick reminder, you can see all of the scores for all the big games on our ticker right below. We'll also have a full rundown on KVOA.com. But for now, let's get back right into it, shall we? And Marana High School was invading the south side as Desert View was gunning for a monumental upset. And early on, Trenton Bourget fakes a pass and the ball goes the other way. The Zochis rat lift and he is gone with the win. Marana leads 7-0, but back comes Desert View. And check out Jacob Ramirez rumbling forward for the first down from the boys from the Sunnyside Unified School District. But that's as good as it'd get for the Jaguars because Trent Bourget and Marana heat up straight caliente. There he hits Isaiah Roebuck, and Roebuck with some nifty moves, and he has got himself a big gain. Then Bourget will find his brother, Coben Bourget, for another Marana touchdown. Marana continues its unbeaten streak this season and cruises to the 35-0 victory. All right, moving on, Ari Alexander is going to join us with much more with Catalina Foothills and Sabino.
All right, first of all, Paul, you have too much energy. I'm throwing the flag. Both Catalina Foothills and Sabino have been local powers lately, but both have struggled early this season. Now they face off in the Saberdome as Coach Jeff Skern takes on his former team. Sabino coming out of the fanged inflatable thing. I've always wanted to come out of one of those. Joaquin home to Kareem Swilem, and he runs into our camera guy here on the first possession. Couple plays later, Catalina Foothills in with the QB sneak from home. Sabino's first possession, their quarterback, Jimmy Hamilton, is going to fumble this ball, and it's going to be recovered by Catalina Foothills' own Brandon Rapola. Very next possession, though, Sabino quarterback Jason Petty, or rather, Catalina Foothills quarterback Joaquin Home is going to get shut down by Jason Petty of Sabino. And then it's going to be Sabino on offense. A.J. Skaggs to Sam Valenzuela. He's going to get out of bounds 2 plays later. Sabino in for the touchdown. Jimmy Hamilton will score. Sabino wins 21-17. And check out what happened at halftime. 20 years ago, the coach on the Catalina Foothills sideline, Jeff Skurin, was across the field winning a state championship at Sabino.
Really, the reward is seeing the kids that played for you. And being able to smile and see them again and see them in their new lives. That really is the reward for the whole deal.
And many of the players from his 1998 SaberCat championship team are back in town to celebrate what they did 2 decades ago.
It's great coming back and seeing a bunch of old guys and Coach Skurin and just kind of being out on the field, something that we haven't done in 20 years for most of us.
A feeling you can't duplicate.
Most of the game is probably a blur, and I just remember sitting there at the very end and watching the clock tick down and just the feeling of being on top of the world for that moment. It was something that most people never get to experience. It was amazing.
And a reunion to remember. All right, Paul's sitting over there not doing anything, but I'm throwing another flag anyway. Let's get to the Friday Football Fever Play of the Week. That's fun. I see why he does it. We go back to CDO where Stevie Rocker, stiff-arming guys, got some Heisman to him.
Wow.
Put down 2 tacklers, runs through a guy, 68 yards, all the way to score. I feel naked without this pocket square here, so I'm going to put it back on before we head over to Paul, who is watching unsportsmanlike conduct, Paul, tonight.
Hey, well, man, I hate to say it's that time of the night. Once again, it's the time of the night that we look forward to the very least. Week 4 of the Friday Football Fever is now in the books, but we still have plenty of football left this weekend, that's for sure.
All right, one more.
This flag for too much energy. I've never had that one.
Arizona plays Houston tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in the Wildcats' first road game of the season. Also homecoming, Kevin Sumlin was a coach at Houston his first time he was a head coach. I'm going to have full highlights at 5:30 and 10 at that game.
Can't wait for that. And don't forget, if you want to see this show over and over and over and over again, all the flags and everything, no worries, my friends. Just go to KVOA.com. For Ari Alexander, I'm Paul Cicala. Have a positive, productive weekend filled with lots of joy and enjoy your montage of more high school highlights.
Good night.